How's it going, Talk For Us TV? My name is Jack and welcome to my review of Southampton 0, Nottingham Forest 1. So yes, our first away win of the season, our first away win back in the Premiership, and our first away goal since August. Yeah, massive for us, that, massive. We now go up to 15th in the table. I mean, I put a little screenshot in a group chat that I'm part of, with sort of a snippet of the league table from bottom. I think it was bottom to 13th, something like that. And one of my friends said, like, imagine now being level on points with Leicester after they thrashed you 4-0 at the King Power. And it's a good point, really. I mean, we're level on points now with the teams up in 13th, 14th. You know, okay, Leeds have a game in hand, but we're level on points with Leicester, which is, you know, massive, really. Leicester have had a poor run lately, but they did have an upturn in sort of fortunes. Obviously, they did struggle towards the start of the season. They were down at the bottom, beat us, and looked like it kind of spurred them on a bit to try and push themselves up the table. And they've done that. But they're now up to 13th, and we're level on points with a team in 13th. It's brilliant. It really is. We can say that results did go in our favour this week, which, you know, it will happen that way sometimes in football. But when that happens, you have to take your chances. And we did. Tonight, we definitely did. It wasn't a vintage performance in terms of, like, champagne football and, you know, brilliant display of like a Barcelona or a Manchester City-esque performance, but it was one that we needed to put in. A performance where, you know, okay, we only had one shot on target, the only shot on target out of the whole game that went in, and it was a tap in for a 1 year after Johnson squared it. And there's a lot of people, including myself, who did question Johnson after one or two opportunities against Chelsea where he went alone, where maybe he could have squared it, and he squared it tonight, and it paid off. So he must have been listening, yeah, brilliant. I mean, superb. I didn't get to watch the game myself. I was listening to it on TalkSport, so I can kind of only go off what they were saying in commentary, as well as the stats that I've got up here. But yeah, I mean, Southampton. The boos at half-time, the boos at full-time. They were booing when they turned and played the ball back to the goalkeeper during the match. You know, it's a very toxic atmosphere at Southampton. Almost resembles the atmosphere at the end of the Houghton reign. But this is 4 games into a new manager. Nathan Jones, 4 or 5 games in. You know, it's not looking good for him, and I mentioned it in my preview, but, you know, he went from Luton to Stoke, struggled, went back to Luton, did well, like he did well the first time he was at Luton. Now he's gone to Southampton, a step up into the Premiership, and he's looking out of his depth. So, yeah, Southampton in real trouble. Persisting with his 3 at the back that seemingly just does not work. I highlighted... I've just completely forgotten the bloke's name now. Edozie. I highlighted Edozie for Southampton. Came off the bench and he was just, from what I can gather, just playing so deep. He was almost playing as a wing back, picking the ball up inside his own half, on the halfway line, having to try and make up 30, 40 yards before he even hits the box. You know, and for someone like him, he needs to be up and around the box, causing problems that way, running at full-backs, not running at wingers, you know. And it's not looking good at all for Southampton. But for Forest, on the other hand, it's looking good. It's looking good. You know, let's look at our last 5. You know, our last 5, win, draw, loss, win, draw. You know, it's not bad, is it? Draw with Brentford, win against Palace, loss against Liverpool, Man United, draw against Chelsea, win against Southampton. We're still unbeaten in We're still unbeaten in 2023, which is magnificent. 3 spaces now above the drop zone, which sees Everton, Wolves and Southampton in there. West Ham picking up a point, stop them going to the bottom 3. It's brilliant. It's such a relief to see us outside the relegation zone. We can kind of breathe a little bit now. Some big games in the league coming up soon, which we'll touch on in the coming weeks. But yeah, huge today. I mean, Southampton had lion's share possession, but we dealt with it. I don't really think that Henderson had to do anything today in terms of make a save. Defence was strong. Bolly, brilliant over the past couple of games. Maybe not United, but the last 2 games, other than that own goal, excellent Willy Bolly. Joe Worrell settling into the Premier League. Earlier in the season, there were a lot of fans who were kind of questioning whether or not he's the right man to play centre-back in the Premier League, but he's doing well, Joe Worrell. Sorry, he's really settled into it and proving his worth and proving that he is good enough, which I love to see because he's one of my favourite players at the club. I love Joe Worrell. Yates, he getting himself stuck in there again, brilliant. And Wandy on the score sheet once more. Again, a lot of people have kind of been unsure of Wandy. There's definitely been a couple of people on social media that I've seen who are definitely not happy with the Wandy and not believing that he's good enough to, be our main man and that we need to get other strikers in, sort of thing. But he's proven his worth and he's doing really, really well, Taiwo Awoniyi. He got his goal today from the Johnson slip across the box. Couldn't really miss, but had to be there, right place, right time. Needed to score, kept his composure, did score. Really, really pleased for Awoniyi. Really likeable character, I find, Taiwo Awoniyi. Runs and runs and runs. He uses his strength. He's not afraid to get stuck in. Gives 100%. Gets in those positions. Scores the tap-ins. But to score the tap-ins, you need to be there. You look at kind of West Ham and Liverpool. There were sort of rebounds where we had to stand almost on the 6-yard line to fire it back in. Or, today, get on the end of a ball, put across. He's right place, right time for these little tap-ins. And, he gets the reward by his movement, by his speed, by his positioning. Fantastic. And it's brilliant to see. Scarpa off the bench. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying that he looked quite promising. Didn't really mention too much about him on the radio, but looked quite promising from what people are saying on Twitter, which is good to see. Again, I probably wouldn't start him in the next league game. We do have an FA Cup game coming up, so he might look to try and rotate a little bit. We might see Scarpa in that performance, which would be good to see. But in terms of our next league game, I mean, when do we play coming up next in the league? I mean, we've got we've got 2 cup games back to back. Actually, didn't realise that. Blackpool and Wolves. Blackpool away, Wolves at home. Wolves the quarter-final of the EFL Cup. I'd love to win that, man. Love to win that. You don't even know. I'll talk about that when it comes to the preview for that, but I'd love to win it. But then, I mean, our next 4 league games, Leicester at home, winnable. Bournemouth away, winnable. Leeds at home might be a bit of a difficult one, but I can see us getting a win or maybe a point out of that one. Fulham away, bit of a difficult one. Then we've got City after that at home, and then 2 teams in and around the relegation zone. West Ham away, Everton at home. So we've got a nice little run to try and put a couple of wins together or get a few draws in there. It's favourable, but it's looking like, 2 games all about, 2 wins, or not wins, but it felt like a win against Chelsea. 2 positive results with the same starting 11. We're getting a bit of stability, a bit of normality into the starting 11, and it's starting to work. It's coming together. It is, and it's lovely to see. I'm so happy. Just touching back on the stats then for a second. 8 shots to 11. We had 11, Southampton 8. We had 1 shot on target, none for Southampton. They had 63% possession, we had 37. But with Cooper, it doesn't matter about possession. They had 500 or nearly 456. I was going to say nearly 500. It's not. It's middle way in the park. 406 passes. We had 280. Pass accuracy for us was 63%, not great, but it doesn't matter. We held in there, stopped them from really creating. James Ward-Prowse had one free kick which went over the bar from a shooting range, and then one that he sort of whipped into the box that came from nothing, or came off nothing. Just we nullified Southampton and scored our goal and held on and got the win. Massive. I'm so happy. We really deserved that. First away win under our belts. Hopefully we can go on and get some more. Superb. Absolutely superb. I'm so happy. Hopefully we can build this, and hopefully we don't have to go back into the bottom three at all for the rest of the season. That would be lovely. So if you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new around here. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. And come on, you Reds, get in.